We'll begin our discussion on measures of center with a review of the two areas of statistics: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. In descriptive statistics, we collect values that represent the sample data. That's what descriptive statistics is. Values that represent the sample data. And these values are things that we're going to get into: the mean, median, mode. We'll also talk about measures of variation later. With inferential statistics, we draw conclusions about a population using that sample data. We draw conclusions about a population using a sample. So we get some information about, say, a sample mean, and from that we draw conclusions or make inferences about the population mean. Okay, let's talk about these different measures of center, or measures of central tendency is another way to say that. There are four: the mean, the median, the mode, and the mid-range, and these are basically in order of importance and in order of use. Okay. The mean is the arithmetic mean, or average. We're used to calculating that. Add up all the values, divide by the number of values you have. The median is the middle value of an ordered data set. Now this is important. If it's not in order, it doesn't matter what the middle value is. That has no meaning because it would change with the order. So we want, these are values, these are numbers, and we can then put them in order and then select the middle value. The mode is the value that occurs most often. Now, it may be that a data set has no mode. If all of the values occur just once, say you have 10 test scores, that's a small sample, but 10 test scores and none of them are the same, there is no mode. Or you could have more than one mode. Say 3 students made a 75, 3 students made a 77, and 3 students made a 92. There are 3 modes there. If 3 is the most with frequency, the highest frequency, then there would be 3 modes in that data set. The mid-range. This is the average of the maximum value and the minimum value. So you add the highest value to the lowest and divide by 2 to get that average. Not very commonly used, but your author sort of points that out just to make sure that you don't confuse it with the others. Okay, let's look at an example. Okay, we have a little tiny data set here of 5. But we'll keep it small just to make it easy to do these calculations. And we want to calculate the 4 different measures of central tendency. Okay, so for the mean, the mean would be equal to, well, we all know, this is the arithmetic mean. You add the values up, and divide by the number of values you have. Okay, so this sums to what? 3 and 4 is 7, and 3 is 10, 11 over 5, or 2.2. Okay, to find the median, we're supposed to have an ordered data set. So let's come over here and put them in order. Lowest would be 1, and there's another 1, there's a 2, a 3, and a 4. 5 values, here's the one right in the middle, so the median is 2. Okay, the mode is the value that occurs with the highest frequency, and 1 occurred twice, the others only once, so the mode is 1. And the mid-range is just the average of the maximum and minimum value. Maximum is 4, minimum is 1. Take the average of those and we get 5 over 2, which is 2.5. Okay, these are our 4 measures of central tendency. Just to illustrate a couple other things, let's look at another example. Again, a small data set. Our mean will be calculated by adding the values and divide by the number we have. This time we have 6 values, and this is 25 over 6. 6, 8, and 5 is 13, and 6 is 19, and 3 is 22, and 3 is 25. So this comes out to be 4.166, but what we need to think about is rounding, and there is a rule for rounding. For the mean, we want to round to one more decimal place than we had in our data. Our data had 0 decimal places, so one more would be 1, so we would say this is approximately 4.2. One more decimal place than we have in the data. The median is the middle value of an ordered data set. So let's get them in order. 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6. So in the middle, well, when you have an even number, there are 2 in the middle. These 2. Here we had an odd number, so there was clearly a value in the middle. Here what we have are 2 values in the middle. So to find the median, we have to take the average of those. So when we have an even number of values, you take the average of the 2 values in the middle. Okay, the mode. Well, this is an example of a data set that is bimodal. It has 2 modes. 3 occurs twice and 6 occurs twice. So we just list them as modes, 3, 6. Okay, we don't take any kind of average or anything. We just list them. So this is a bimodal data set, 2 modes. And finally, the mid-range. The average of the maximum and minimum value. And we also get 4 here. So we need to be able to compute with larger data sets the mean, median, mode, and mid-range. And the key here is to know the difference between these 4 measures of central tendency, measures of center.